Religion just didn't tell women they couldn't be gay. It convinced them that they were. And I need y'all to understand the difference between two things, because one is a rule that you'll eventually break, and one just something that gets inside of you and rewrites who you think you are. If you grew up in a religious household, especially in black and brown communities, southern communities where church were the center of every damn thing, you already know what I'm about to say before I even say it. From the time you were little, you were handed a script. Women love men. Women marry men. Women build families with men. That is the plan. That is what's natural. Everything else is a sin, a choice, a phase, a demon, something to be cast out. And when you hear that type of shit from everyone that you love and you trust, like your pastor, your grandparents, your mother, your whole community, it doesn't just sit on the surface. It gets into you. It becomes who you are before you even see yourself, before you even old enough to understand what you're being taught. So when you start feeling things that don't match that script, you don't question the script, you start to question yourself. So what do you do when you feel something that you were told was wrong? You pray it away. You get on your knees and you beg to be different. You fast, you confess, you cry it out, you bargain, you dedicate yourself hard, serve more, show up more, perform your devotion loud, because somewhere someone told you if your faith was strong enough, if you surrendered enough, if you believed hard enough, the feelings will stop. And they didn't, did they? They never stopped, because there's nothing to pray away. You are not broken. There is no demon. There is nothing in you that needs to be fixed. But now you're just not gay. You're gay and you believe you're a spiritual failing. You're gay and every time those feelings come back, you think it means your faith isn't enough. You think it means you're weak. You think it means God can't reach you or doesn't want to. This is psychological damage dressed as spirituality, and it's done to women, young women, girls, constantly in churches all over the world. Some women just don't date men because of pressure. They marry men as proof, as devotion, as a way of saying to God and their community, look, I choose right. I choose the correct thing. I surrender my feelings and I did what I was supposed to do. And they walk into those marriages genuinely thinking once they commit, once they're living the right way, the attraction to women will fade. That it was a test and they passed it. It doesn't fade. And now there's a husband, sometimes kid, a whole life built as an offering to something that was never true. And she's trapped inside of it, performing, going through every motion of a life she didn't actually choose. I want y'all to sit with that. A woman spending decades inside of a marriage, inside of a life, inside of a version of herself that she built because she was terrified of who she actually was. That is what religion does to some women. That is the real cost. When you grow up in a religious environment and you're gay, they don't just tell you that you're wrong. They replace your identity with something else entirely. They hand you a new story about yourself and tell you to live inside of it. You're not gay. You're a woman committing to loving God and living right. You're not attracted to women. You're a woman who struggle with temptation like everybody else. You're not a lesbian. You're a daughter of the church who just haven't found the right man yet. And you take those replacements and you wear them because they come from people who were supposed to love you the most. Because rejecting them feels like you're rejecting everything. Your family, your community, your church, your sense of safety, your whole world. So you become the version of yourself that they built. You perform her, and you got so good at performing that you start to forget that there was another version of you underneath all of that. And that's the most dangerous part. Not that they told you who you couldn't be, but they gave you someone else to be instead. The woman who stays in it, who spends years or decades or their whole life performing straightness inside religious communities, pay for it. Their mental health, their sense of self, their ability to be intimate with anybody in a way that's real, the capacity to just honestly exist inside their own body. Depression rates, the anxiety rates, the rates of self-harm among who grew up in highly religious environments. That's what happens when you spend years being told of who you are is incapable of being loved by anybody, by God, by your family. You don't thrive in that. You survive, and sometimes barely. And what makes it worse is the community that caused the damage is often the same one you're supposed to turn to for support. So you suffer alone. Understand, eventually some women get out. It may be their 30s, it may be their 40s, sometimes later. It comes to a point where they just cannot keep holding it. And what almost all of them describe is grief, not just relief, grief. Because coming into your truth that late means mourning. Mourning the years, the relationships, the time you wasted on men, the version of yourself that never got to exist, the woman you could have been if somebody would have just told you the truth earlier, that you were fine, that you were always fine. Some of them walk away from religion entirely. Some of them build something quieter and personal on their own terms, but all of them deserve the truth way earlier than they got it. What religion does to queer people is a form of psychological control. It takes something that is natural, attraction, desire, identity, and reframe it as a sin, sickness, a spiritual failure. And it does this to keep women inside this structure that benefits from compliance. See, a woman that believes she is broken is easier to manage. A woman who believes her feelings are demonic will suppress them. A woman that believes she has to earn love by performing straightness will perform it, sometimes for her entire life. That is not about God. That is about power. That is about institutions needing women to stay small and manageable inside the line. And the women who pay the price are real women with real lives who deserve to know who they are without having to fight decades of religious fucking condition just to get there. If you spent years praying away something that was never going to go away, I see you. If you married somebody that you were not in love with and had no business marrying just because you wanted to please your church or you just wanted to be who your parents wanted you to be, I see you. If you're watching this right now and this is landing somewhere deep inside of you that no one has ever touched, I see you were never the problem. You were put in a box that you were too small for everything that you actually are. And you deserve better than that, way earlier than you got it. If this hit drop a cunt, if you know somebody who's still in it, who's still struggling, send it to them. And if you're that somebody, just know you're not alone in this.